So, all right, guys, pretty freaking excited. We have an absolute rock star inside of the group today. We have Ro Quo. Did I say that last name right? I want to make sure I'm saying it right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yo, Ro has been crushing it, guys. I'm pretty excited to share with this. There's a lot of different wins that Ro's had, but what we're going to go over today specifically, unless you want to share more with us, but how Ro was able to go from just booking 16 meetings per month to 200 meetings per month in just a span of 60 days. So super excited to have you here, man. We love having you. You're an amazing client, amazing person. So for everybody here, do you want to share with everybody the name of your company, who you help, right? And what is your offer?
Yeah, so first off, happy to be here. So the name of our company is Digital Alpha Consulting. So we're a boutique marketing agency specifically serving real estate agents and brokers to get them more appointments with serious buyers and sellers, and to also assist them with the sales aspect to increase their conversion rate as much as they possibly can while they're using our system. So that's pretty much what we do. Was there another question?
Yeah. So what's your offer specifically?
Oh, so our offer, it's specifically called the real estate CMA system. And like I said, it pretty much drives in their ideal clients, and we book them as appointments directly onto their calendar. And then on the back end, we give the agents additional support with like biweekly coaching calls to pretty much help them maximize their conversion rate while they're using our system.
And how long you been in business, man?
Just over 2 years at this point.
Very awesome. So, man, you're not new to the game, right? This is what I love about working with our clients. Typically, our clients aren't super new to the game. You've been around the block, you've seen some stuff, you've done some stuff. So that's what makes the story fun, right? Going from where you're at to like astronomical increase in appointments. So I'd love to hear from you, man. What was the challenge that was holding you up or slowing you down before working with us?
Well, the first thing was mindset, right? So it was a situation where I had the good devil on my shoulder and the bad devil. One was telling me, yo, you can do this, go after it, don't let up. And then the other one was saying, no, you can't, like, just give up. And it was just this consistent battle every single day. Now, nowadays, it's super easy because there's rituals in place to help assist with that. It still happens from time to time because we're all human, but the biggest thing was mindset, for sure.
So, dude, when you say that, because a lot of people are going to hear that, they're going to say, oh, mindset, that sounds so woo woo. Like, I thought the sales agency helps you close deals and book meetings, right? So, when you say mindset, what do you feel like was the number one takeaway from a mindset perspective that gave you that like confidence, that headspace to go into every day and just dominate what you're doing?
Well, I guess from an action point of view,
Mhm.
it's doing the simple things like creating time blocks on your schedule, committing to those time blocks, like your income producing activities, your outreach. And before all of that, having your morning formula set up in place. So your affirmations, your vision board, like where you want to be, your future self, knowing how your future self looks, what kind of car he drives, where they live, the type of money the company makes, and pretty much becoming that person like right now. Like even though it hasn't fully happened as yet, becoming that person right now and then letting time catch up to you, if that makes sense.
Dude, it makes sense to me. I hope it makes sense to everybody watching. Behind every successful person is a structured, strong foundation. And like Ro, you're such a great example of that, man. What you just said there, what I believe most people is overlooking. So you've already said a few different things, but I'd love to hear, more specifically, getting to 200 meetings per month, because that's a big jump from 16. So what tool, strategy, tactic did you leverage working with us to just absolutely cruise past that challenge of booking meetings?
That's a good question.
Why
So, so with that, the first tactical thing, well, here's the thing. There's so many tactics. so many strategies out there. There's no real secret, right? There is no real secret. So the first thing you have to do is really figure out your ideal client, what keeps them up at night, their pain, what they really need help with, their bottlenecks, having that client avatar, and then infusing it with your language when you're scheduling appointments. So right now we're using LinkedIn, we're cold calling, we're getting appointments from our drip campaigns on the back end.
Did you say you're cold calling?
Yep.
Oh my God. I
Yep.
thought that was dead.
Now we're getting like 4 to 6 a day from cold calls, right? And we're about to bring on a VA to take over that process too. So,
and I say that in sarcasm, guys, for everyone watching, because we teach cold calling along with the other prospecting. The people that say it's dead typically just aren't good at it. So
yeah. And we just turned on ads yesterday to test out a few different angles. So that's like what, 4 different traffic sources right there. But with each traffic source, the language is the same, right? The language hits their pain, what keeps them up at night, their bottleneck. So when we get on the phone with them, it's like, okay, you seem to know exactly what I'm going through, the problems I'm having. I want to hear what you have to say. So the tactics, yes, they work, but they only work if you understand the principles that make them, because these things change every day. So
facts, man, absolutely. So when you added those things in, I know everybody saw the headline, right? You know, Roe went from 16 meetings to 200 meetings per month in 60 days. But what result happened when you started applying those things? Because it didn't happen overnight, even though 60 days isn't a very long time frame. So you crushed it. But like, what happened initially when you started to apply these things? Were there roadblocks? Like, what happened?
yes, so you're absolutely right. It did not happen overnight. It took us about 40 to about 45 days to begin seeing the increase in volume. And then with that, the next bottleneck we faced was the no-show. So with the no-show, we were at a 70%, 70 to 80% on a no-show rate.
No show rate, not show rate, but no show rate.
The no-show rate, 70 to 80%. So with that, we had to go back to the drawing board again, look at the language, see how expectations were set, back to the principles, just like I told you, back to the principles. Where was the disconnect? Made a few tweaks, small, like extremely small tweaks, added those appointment confirmations that you teach in the course morning of. And that has, first it went down to like 40%, 35 to 40%. And now we're sitting at like 18 to 20%.
Dude, that's so hot, man. And just for some context for some people to kind of really be able to take that in, and like the significance of that, guys, if you're booking 200 meetings a month and you have a 70% no show rate, right? That means that 140 of those meetings aren't showing up. Now, most people would think like, oh, this is a problem with the sales rep. This is a problem with my marketing. There's a lot of things that they'll assume. But all you did, man, was fix your no-show percentage. And then from there, you literally added in an additional 70 appointments per month by just decreasing your no-show rate by half.
Yeah.
And now it's more, obviously, but like initially, that's all you did.
Yeah, the smallest change.
Yeah. So if you guys are listening to this, ask yourself, what could I do with an extra 70 connected calls per month? It adds up to a lot of cash. You don't have to be a mathematician. So cool, man. So how long did it take you before you saw the result? At this point, we're in your journey. You know, you're 45 days in. Things have really ramped up. I know you said 60 days to hit the 200 meetings per month. But how long? Well, how about this? How long did you believe it was going to take you before you started?
Honestly, I knew time. I was calculating about 60 days, to be honest, 60 to 90 days.
Nice. Damn, yeah, some high expectations.
But obviously it happened faster.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's killer, man. So what was it exactly that held you up from wanting to say yes to work with us? Where were you at? What held you up?
Um, it was our sales framework. So we had a good framework before, don't get me wrong, but we were only closing 90-day contracts.
Mm.
And with that, we weren't operating off of the principles. We were just operating off of the script, right? So when we got into your program, we learned the principles of sales, right? The real reason why you say things, right? Why you really have to listen and not just rebuttal because you have to rebuttal. Like figuring out the core reason why a client thinks the way they think and how to break these beliefs, these decision-making patterns. So it's a completely different ballgame. Most of the contracts we close nowadays are 12-month. Just had one yesterday. I think I posted it in a group. That was 3K on a 12-month contract, 36K contract. But it's the biggest thing is just the principles. It just goes back to the principles in everything, in sales and marketing. It all starts with the principles, and then the tactics come like right after.
So when you started implementing our reversal method to start getting 12-month agreements, first of all, before we ask you this, did you even think that was possible to go from barely getting 3-month contracts to people asking you for 12 instead of 3?
I mean, I knew it was possible because I saw you doing it, but I didn't know if it was possible for us, right? Until we tried it.
And why is that, man? What made you feel that way? Because like you said, you saw me doing it, so you knew it was possible, right? But what made you guys feel like maybe you couldn't do it?
Yeah, it was a belief thing.
Can you expand on that?
It just goes back to mindset, right? As soon as that,
Yeah. So it goes back to the mindset. And what else you cut off after that?
oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I was saying, as soon as that piece was fixed, everything else fell into place.
Very awesome, man. So was it easier or harder, or what was the holdup in actually implementing our reversal method so you can start closing 12-month agreements easier than 3 months? Was there any type of hiccup, holdup, anything? Like, tell us about that experience.
Not necessarily, no. The biggest thing was repetition. So the more calls we executed on, the easier it got, and it gets easier and easier and easier. Now I feel like I can do it in my sleep, right?
Nice.
But yeah, it's really the repetition. Obviously, you can't. Sales is like a lifetime. It's something that it takes a lifetime to master. So true mastery is going to come from the repetition of actually doing it over and over and over again. So that's really it. You just got to get it done. Just take action. Just do it.
Dude, I love that answer. And the way that you're putting everything together, man, it's from the sense of like long term. Now you think such long term. And this is what makes you a great business owner, like seeing what you're doing behind the scenes, which we don't have to get super deep into right now because you're doing a lot of stuff you weren't doing before. But this is what makes you a great business owner. And if you guys are in sales, hopefully you can take a lot of this advice from what Ro's doing, because Ro was doing all the sales. Now he's not doing as many of the calls, but Ro was doing all of them. So if you're in sales, like, you can sell big contracts, right? And you can hear from Ro, a lot of it's mindset and why you can't. So it comes down to a law of attraction, right? We attract what we believe. We attract what we project, right? If we're constantly telling ourselves why we can't do something, we then become the thing we believe we can do. So, Ro, dude, you're a great example of like what it takes to crush mindset. Who would you recommend the sales agency to? Like, who'd you recommend our company to?
I would say all service-based businesses. It's like as long as you have a sales process that requires you to get on the phone to really like walk your ideal client to their destination, would absolutely recommend agency to every single one of those companies. Because like I said, it's the principles, not the tactics, the principles.
I love that, man. You value all the right stuff, dude. Where can everyone find you, right? Because everyone knows now who you work with. So where can people find you, dude? Work with you.
Yeah, you could just type my name in on Facebook. I don't use Instagram. I don't use Twitter. I don't use Snapchat.
You own a business and you don't have Instagram, Twitter, or Snapchat?
Nah, yeah, just Facebook. I'm on Facebook. You can email me. But yeah, just add me on Facebook if you got any questions about anything, and I'll be happy to help out anyone.
Boom. There you go, guys. Ro, like I said, man, you're an amazing client, but even more so an amazing person. Super proud of where you come, man, since day one. That's all we have for you guys today. If you have any questions in regards to what it would look like to work with us, to be able to help you in a similar fashion, just go ahead and shoot us an email, support@thesalesagency.com. We'd love to be able to meet you where you're at and lend some advice. And then if we can help you, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So appreciate you all. Ro, thanks again for your time, man. And we'll see you guys next week on the next one.